Hello everyone, it's Ryan from Frontline Animal Removal. I'm sitting on a nice comfortable spot up on this roof, and I want to talk about ridge vents. And I'm going to show you 3 different designs of ridge vents. One of them is kind of far away because it's on another house, but I'm going to try to explain it to you. And I'm going to show you the 2 designs that are up on this roof and their advantages and disadvantages, and why I like one over the other, and how they can be incorrectly installed and they can be correctly installed. So let's take a look at the first one. Here's our first ridge vent. Now this is a hip style roof, and so what they did is they ran the ridge vent up and down, so they have these tails here. And this style ridge vent is made of coroplast. Coroplast is basically plastic cardboard. So you got a layer here, a layer here, a layer here, and a layer here. And if we look at the ends of it, you can see it's corrugated. So what do these corrugations do? The corrugations allow the air to travel up into the slot that's cut for the roof and to breathe. This style of ridge vent, this coroplast stuff, usually fits nice and tight to the shingles along here. I almost never have problems with critters getting in along here. The problem with it is they have to cut a channel in the middle, and the way this is sealed on the end is a piece of foam is jammed in here. The problem with a piece of foam is it falls out, blows away, or it's just never installed because it's just a friction fit. And there's no foam here, and I can stick my finger in. If I can fit my finger in like that, bats can go in there. This opening is probably big enough for 3 to 4 bats to go in simultaneously like this. Well, that's why I'm at this house, is because of bats. And it's missing the end plugs. Now, I can fix this really quick and easy. We just glue some material here to block it up. But occasionally, you know, this kind of arches up a little bit, and you'll get flying squirrels getting in, or you'll get gray squirrels getting in if it's arched up enough and they chew on it. But this is a good quality ridge vent, with the only real shortcoming being that these ends are usually unprotected. So let's check out another ridge vent. Here's another style. This is a typical ridge vent that we see, where you have these little vertical slots along the side, and you got an edge that gets nailed down along here, and then up underneath here it's all open. This keeps the bugs and the critters out and lets the air in. This style I like because all the little ribs are close together, and if we look down this way, it's kind of wavy. What the manufacturer this style did is they put, they got these little scoops like this. Well, that allows this to articulate. See, look how flexible that is. I can push it down and it bends very easily. And that allows it, particularly with these dimensional shingles that are 3-dimension, to articulate around all that, and it forms a nice tight seal. The problem with this style ridge vent is when it's installed, let's see if I can find the seam. Okay, this piece here is one big piece. This is a cut point. There's 2 slots right here. This is to tell the installer to cut it here. This is to tell the installer to cut it here. This one was trimmed here, which is an inappropriate spot. So we look up underneath, there's no blocking material here at the end. That's bad. However, right here, there's blocking material that goes all the way across. So if the installer had installed this just a few more inches down this way, see there's one here about every 12 inches, then there would be a blocking material on the end here and critters couldn't get in. But because they trimmed it here before the cut area, And some of this ridge vent, it's printed right on it, cut here. But they got little pictures on them with scissors that show you to cut there. And the reason why you cut there is so that you keep the critters out. But because this was not done right, the critters can get in here. So I have to block that up. And another ridge vent that is no longer really being installed anymore is on that roof over there. Now, it's probably hard to tell, but those are aluminum ridge vents. Excellent in breathing, but the big problem with aluminum ridge vents is their expansion and contraction causes the nails to pull up, and then the bats crawl right up underneath of it. I've had some other videos where I take that stuff off and put it back down with wire underneath, and I demonstrate how the bats get up underneath. The other problem with that style of ridge vent is the end plugs always fall out. Very similar to this. So those are 3 styles of ridge vent that we deal with. I've never come across a perfect ridge vent. Probably the best ridge vent for keeping critters out is, I think it's a brand like Cobra. It looks like a giant Brillo pad. It's very flexible. It can bend and you know, it fits to the shape of the shingles very well. You put the shingles over top of it, you can't even see it. Because it's a Brillo pad like material, it's very difficult for something to chew their way in, and because it's like a Brillo pad, it's almost a solid, but it's not. So you leave no openings. The only disadvantage with that material is it doesn't breathe as good as some of these other designs. However, you're pretty much guaranteed to never have problems with bats with that gauze-like material. I've been seeing some new ridge vent products come on the market that I have not had any experience with yet. But that one, one over on that house are very common, and we deal with them all the time, and they're a popular entry point for bats. So if you suspect bats are getting in your ridge vent or getting in your house, you can come on out, we can take a look at it. Sometimes it's an easy fix, we just stick a plug in there. Sometimes if it's like that one, we got to take it all up and redo it. And if it's like this style, we have a specific exclusion product that we can install right over the edge that's invisible from the ground and keeps the critters out. Thank you.